the people we're not supposed to be allowed to know about. We have helped bring you that information along with other researchers. This too, Dan, because I know you were at that 2006 Bilderberg meeting, something really I haven't heard people talk about. Now, Alex and others have really helped bring out how the left-right paradigm is false, how the Federal Reserve and other entities are so central to what's going on, and how it's really this big cartel meeting of people on all sides of the spectrum working and coordinating together, even though they seem to be individual and separate outside of that. I know in 2006, we got information out of the meeting, and it's in the in-game film, about how they're planning to pop the housing bubble. Nobody knew that then. Nobody knew they were going to pop the housing bubble. In 2006, InfoWars, Alex Jones brought you that information, so many other researchers, Jim Tucker and the others, and look what happened. It didn't happen until 2008, but it was totally true, Dan Dix.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people now are realizing because of that, that getting out of debt is absolutely crucial. When you have multiple credit cards and a line of credit and mortgages and loans and all these things, the global elite literally have their bony little fingers wrapped around your neck, and they can squeeze at just about any time. So getting out of debt is absolutely crucial. It is easier said than done. I mean, we are all born into this debt-based system, and a lot of the times it might even mean lowering your standards of living so that you can own something outright. But I think that's one of the areas that people need to focus on in their own lives, because if you got to change yourself before you change the world. And I think getting out of debt is absolutely crucial to taking the right steps in the right direction in regards to fighting the New World Order.
I agree, and of course, trying to live within your means is a good start too, particularly for people who don't have extra means. And of course, these credit cards and everything are very predatory. I think the other side of that same coin is trying to build an independent life, trying to detach from a system, especially in the areas where it's predatory, and that is so many of those areas. Try to get out of that web, try to build your own personal assets. I haven't been able to do it all myself, but I know what direction I'd like to be able to go. I know there are people who grow their own food and so forth and so on. I think that's an important part of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just closing up comments, I was listening to a few of the guests earlier. There's been so many awesome guests on today. And, I believe what a lot of the other ones were saying is that this is indeed, when you look at it, you get into the crux of it. We're involved with spiritual warfare here. And I think one of the crucial things is to get right with God as well. I think mankind having turned their backs on God pretty much is also a part of the reason why we're in the situation that we are in. So I am in total agreement with a lot of the previous guests in that regards. I think that is one of these solutions that people need to focus on as well.
Yeah, it's really incredible, too. And when everybody comes on at once, it becomes this big flow of energy and consciousness. And I think everybody's thinking off of each other, too. So that's just another great thing about this kind of long marathon broadcast. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Dan, and hope people will check out your work at pressfortruth.ca, right?
Yep, that's right. Okay, thanks, guys. Keep up the great work, and good luck with the rest of it.
Great. Have a good night.
Thanks.
And we, again, do want to thank all the people who've supported us monetarily, but, of course, also those who've shared the link, who've spread the word, who've simply told people about the InfoWars broadcast, who tried to turn people on to alternative information. It's not just our own personal lives that we have to detach from the system and build up our own areas, but we need to build up good alternative sources of information, try to make places like Infowars.com really a buoyant kind of lifting area, and then other people coming along with it as well, going in their own directions, really raising all ships, trying to raise all tides. I don't think that phrase is coming out the way I planned it. but I've got a lot of notes here. It'd be hard to go through it in detail, but so many of the people we consider eugenicists, whether it's the Huxley family, Aldous Huxley and his brother Julian Huxley, who ran UNESCO, the Rockefeller family, the Harriman's family, not only did they build up so many of our enemies in World War II, like Nazi Germany, build up Soviet Russia, finance them, and build them up as this Hegelian dialectic false enemy, they've also totally socially engineered us. They've not only laid the claim that they could decide how many people will live or die and try to exercise control over that, they have tried to physiochemically control the way we think, the kind of inputs we have. And you see that just, for instance, through the Rockefeller Foundation at places like Caltech and other important research centers. I have that book here, The Molecular Vision of Life. It's one of the ones I've covered, and it's just incredible. They list here on page 46 how they want to control psychobiology, internal secretions, nutrition, that's vitamins and so forth, radiation, biology of sex, experimentation, chemical embryology, genetics, general physiology, biophysics. They're really trying to game our lives and control it all through these centrally steered, privately controlled, but publicly influenced operations, and they're really trying to subvert our humanity, trying to dumb us down, dull us from what we are, get us caught up in making money, trying to make ends meet, the things we watch on television and the rest of it, and keep us from that higher state of mind, the things that we're trying to get into in thoughts. And it's just another direction we have to go. Now, I know we have another guest coming up in a few minutes. He's going to update us on the Occupy movement. He's here in Dallas, here in Texas, rather, locally in Dallas at the Occupy Dallas Federal Reserve Movement. And that is Rick Warden. But first, I think we should throw to a video. Hopefully they can get that ready. And I just want to remind you, what? It is ready? Yeah, we'll throw to that in just a second and remind you to donate at InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com. You can also get the free video streams there. This broadcast is not just beginning, but it's far from over. It has well over 8 hours to go. I think 11, all things told, to the end of the next broadcast. And there's so much information. Archive these links, capture the videos, save them yourself, put them on disk, spread them to your friends and family. Let people know about this broadcast. And, of course, help us monetarily. If you don't donate money directly, help buy the products and buy from our sponsors. There's a lot of good sponsors, too, that can improve your lives. I've tried to check out a lot of the nutritional ones and had some improvements in those ways just on my own. But it's important that you help this operation and help us grow in so many ways. And, of course, the things you buy and spread the words about themselves become a way to get the word out more. Well, you know what I'm trying to say, and we really appreciate those who've helped us. Let's go to a video right now.
My friends, please pay attention to the information I'm about to cover and research the links that we'll post below this video so that you understand none of this is my opinion, it is fact. This issue is the most important issue going on in the world. It is scientific tyranny. I've read literally hundreds of government white papers and documents and books like Eco-Science, where the White House science czar talks about forcibly drugging the water to dumb you down and sterilize you. But now, they're in the New York Times and Time Magazine and everywhere, and all the major medical journals promoting not only drugging the water with lithium, which, by the way, they're already doing, but now they're announcing it, to make you servile. But now they are admitting that they plan to deploy something I learned about a decade ago. Hundreds of different vaccines. They're really biological re-engineering live viruses that they inject into your body, and the live viruses go in and attack your brain. And they claim, oh, it's to stop drug addiction. Those same receptor sites that pick up opiates and nicotine and alcohol pick up your normal endorphins. It's part of being a normal human being. Those drugs mimic that. And the viruses attack those receptor sites and kill them and create dead tissue. It is a vaccine-induced live virus lobotomy. Now they're coming out and saying the American people and the people of the world are sick. And major medical journals are saying we need to give everybody these shots to make them feel better, to stop having anxiety, to stop being angry. In other words, to take away your instinct for self-preservation, your will to survive, to make you accept all the bad things that are happening, to turn you into a biological android, a type of zombie. You cannot make this up. Please send this video to everyone you know. For God's sakes, understand how serious this is. This is a global, scientific, corporate takeover of life itself. The globalists aren't just re-engineering corn and wheat and every other major crop and engineering sterilant into them. Suddenly, all over the news, they're promoting lithium and Prozac and other drugs in the water. Head bioethicist at Cambridge, they're the people that advise and set medical policy for doctors, are announcing they want to force drug you, and they're calling it cognitive enhancement. I've got a CBS News piece where they say that mercury helps your intelligence when everyone knows it causes brain damage.
Mercury-containing vaccines may help, not harm kids, according to 2 new studies in the journal Pediatrics.
So when they say cognitive enhancement, they mean cognitive brain damage. They mean taking your essence, literally your psyche, who you are, away. And they sit up there saying, well, if we put Prozac in the water, it'll cut suicide, when it's admitted that Prozac on its insert can cause suicide. I have mainstream news articles that have just come out in the last few days in England where people have a 10-fold increase in convulsions, and they develop epilepsy after the flu shot. I talked to top scientists who studied the flu shot last year and found bizarre viral RNA in it that deals with the brain. I've had top brain surgeons on, like Dr. Russell Blaylock, to talk about this, and the government documents that he's read, how this is part of a eugenics population control program. I mean, here it is. London Telegraph, flu jab linked to fits in under 5s. And it goes on to say they've been told not to give children, 110,000 in England, under 5 the shot because they had convulsions at 10 times the regular rate. Lindsay Lohan isn't what matters. Mel Gibson isn't what matters. The Depression doesn't even matter. War with Iran is not even that important compared to a medical dictatorship. And under the National Health Service in England, and now national health care here in the U.S., they're slashing regular health care like cancer surgery or having a broken leg fixed and converting it over to psychiatry and this biological warfare or biopsychiatry, where they say, don't worry about drugs anymore for your depression. We're going to give you a shot that alters your brain by viruses literally attacking your brain. And they're rolling it out in public trials, over 100 of these vaccines right now. And they're clearly spiking other vaccines with it. If you love your children, if you love your family, you've got to realize this is a creeping, scientific, incremental, soft kill system. Let's go over some of these articles. Jab that could put a stop to stress without slowing us down. And it says they're going to make humans better. They've re-engineered potatoes and corn. Why not just re-engineer humans? And they quote all these major medical journals saying how great it is. And they say, this could change society, the professor said. And they have a government-funded Stanford team with these neuroprotective viruses. And this particular vaccine, one of hundreds, is a live herpes virus engineered to only eat certain key brain tissue.
What's wrong? Nothing really. I just feel that I need something stronger. If you have a problem, don't hesitate to ask for assistance. Yes, thank you. I'll be all right. Call 348.
They're not asking you. They're just rolling it out. And this isn't like some drug that they give people for a decade that causes hundreds of thousands of women to have deformed children. This isn't some drug that just makes one person, have a heart attack. All these other recalled drugs, these aren't even drugs. These are genetically engineered nanotech viruses that go in and turn you into a servile biological android. Do you understand? The vaccines that they're rolling out are live virus bioweapons that re-engineer your brain. You've seen the reports where all over the world, Asia, Africa, Latin America, Central Asia, they give children UN-sanctioned polio shots. And the children come down with weaponized polio and die. And the government admits, it was an accident with that vaccine. People are now waking up to the fact that the vaccines are causing convulsions and brain damage and cancer. And so what's their answer? They're coming out and saying, don't worry, instead of a shot, have a banana. They're coming out, Nobel laureate scientist defines future vaccines as food. They're pharmacological crops that grow